Yo YouTube, what is up? 2xKO has now been out for a little over a week as we now have ranked, and I kind of just wanted to give you guys my perspective of the tier list and where character strength lies. I'm a gold player right now, so from a gold player's perspective, so keep that in mind, but I have been higher ranked in other fighting games such as BBFC and Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising and Grand Blue Fantasy vs. So we're going to get there, just not there yet. So without further ado, let's take a look at the tier list. So guys, we're just going to go, I'm going to start off with, we're just going to do S, A, and B because I don't believe any characters fall into C or D. And I'm going to just pick a character, we're just going to go down the list here, right? And I'm going to kind of give you my explanation as to why I think they are where they are. And we'll just kind of do that for every character. So let's go from left to right. So the first one we have is Ahri. I'm going to put Ahri here in B, and the reason why I'm going to put her here in B is because Ahri kind of struggles in neutral a lot. Her neutral is not great. I think that is her biggest crutch right now. Her combos are also a bit hard and tricky, so I think as a newer player, trying to work around that is really hard, but she does have some tools. She can work and be viable, but it's just, I think she needs a few buffs here and there because I think that they nerfed her too hard from previous alphas to now, and she's just kind of lost what made her really strong. I know they nerfed her damage. Her damage has been nerfed, but she still has that high mobility with having an air dash, and she can kind of air stall herself as well. So she does have some strengths. I just think kind of the cons right now outweigh the strengths just a little bit. But she could be good paired with like maybe Yasuo or Jinx. I still think Jinx does really well in neutral, and that's the comp I kind of started out with, was going Jinx to Ahri or Ahri into Jinx. And it just wasn't working out, but I want to go back and try Jinx with Ahri to see if maybe my opinion changes. But I would pair her with maybe even Vi or somebody like that. Somebody that can move fast and navigate neutral really well might help Ahri out. The next character I want to talk about is Ekko, and Ekko is kind of crazy. So I'm going to put Ekko up here in S. The reason I'm going to put Ekko in S here is because of his time winder mechanic. It's very good. It's very easy to mix people up with. You cannot hold pressure against him very long, as he will open you up eventually. His combo routes are super good, and they don't look too hard to execute. But that time winder mechanic that he has on his moves is just absolutely insane for mix-ups. And I think he's just super hard to block. And he does an insane amount of damage. That's kind of why I want to put Ekko in S. I think his whole reason for being in S is his damage and is his ability to play neutral. His projectile kind of just lingers out there on screen as well. So in neutral, I just think he's really good, solid all-around character. Great in the point position. And yeah, I mean, I have nothing too bad to say about Ekko. He kind of just has it all. I don't really see too much of a weakness outside of if you've played against Ekko at all and he tries to mix you up, you can throw him out of that. So if you're prepared for the mix-up, you can mash her out of that, which is very, very good to at least have some kind of defense against him. But you also have push assist. I would recommend using push assist, or even maybe a parry might help you out against Ekko, but he is S. We're going on to the next S character, which would be Yasuo. And I'm actually going to put Yasuo one above Ekko, I think. The reason why I'm going to do this is because Yasuo has great long-range pokes. He has great neutral tools. He has Wind Wall, which helps him against projectile-based characters in the projectile war. I can't remember if it's his S1 or S2, but he has like this giant stab that goes the whole way across screen that can really disrupt approaches or just him getting in. It's almost a neutral skip for him, which is really good. And then his stance. Yasuo's stance is insanely good. More so because you can pair it up with assist, and you can cross up with his stance into slash through, and end up on the other side and then go for like a low or a throw or anything after that. So Yasuo's mix-up is also very good, and his damage is extremely high. When I say there is no cons to Yasuo right now, I mean that because I think he just excels at every point in the game. And then we're gonna move on to, let's see here, Darius. Where would I put Darius? I'm gonna put him in A. So Darius is also really good. I think he has the big-bodied struggle that a lot of big-body characters have with being slow, but he almost has to be a little bit slow because his damage is really good. His neutrals are extremely good. His 5M is insane. His H as well is insane. His apprehend, his pool is insanely good. I think his block string pressure is also super annoying to deal with and hard to just find an active way to fight against it. Darius also has a unique thing called hemorrhage, and he had this in League where it would apply a bleed effect to you, but in this game, it only modifies chip damage or has an effect on chip damage. So if he hits you with something, he applies hemorrhage. And if you're blocking, it'll just do more chip damage. It kind of just amplifies the amount of chip that you can take with his moves, which can be super annoying to fight against, by the way. Because taking chip damage in this game kind of sucks because you do have that great health bar. Obviously, I think one of the best strategies you can do against Darius is tagging in and out often, just making sure that your characters stay up on as much HP as they can. But that's kind of it with Darius. He does have high damage output as well, which is why I'd put him in A. The thing that stops him from being any better would just be his lack of movement. I don't even know if it's movement necessarily, because I know his wave dashing is actually not that bad. His weakness lies in falling susceptible to the projectile war with some characters. Like Ekko gives him a hard time, Yasuo gives him a hard time. Maybe if those top two S characters were a little bit lower in strength, Darius could move up into that position, but I think Jinx is kind of tough for Darius. I think Vi can be pretty tough for Darius. I think Darius does pretty well into the big bodies like Blitz and Braum and Illaoi. But yeah, overall, I mean, I think he's just A strength. And then we're going to move on to Illaoi. I'm also going to end up putting Illaoi in A. The reason why I'm going to put Illaoi here is I think she also has some of the same problems as Darius has when it comes to, you know, the projectile war and things like that. But where Illaoi does not lack is in the damage department, and her Oki is extremely strong with tentacles. Her Oki is absolutely insane. I actually will probably move here. If I had to order this, I'd probably put Illaoi here. Just because her Oki is so strong, and it is insanely hard to deal with. You almost have to super jump out of it, but she has a super where she can put 3 of them out. So instead of just having the 1 tentacle out, she puts 3 out, and dealing with 3 tentacles slapping you in the face on wake up, not weak. We'll go with that. It's very strong, and I think that's where Illaoi is the biggest threat, because it helps her get that hit that she needs, and once she gets that hit and can convert, she does a massive amount of damage. With that being said, that's really all I got on Illaoi. I haven't played against Illaoi too much, or Darius for that matter, so my knowledge on them is still a little bit limited. I've played against mostly Ekkos and Yasuos and Vice, so that's mostly where that knowledge is coming from. I've played against every character at least once or twice, so I'm going based off of that. The next character is Braum. I think Braum I would probably put into B as well. The reason I would do this is I think Braum can't really function on his own, whereas like Darius can function in Juggernaut on his own, Illaoi could function in Juggernaut on her own. Like all these characters can function on their own if you were to go the Juggernaut fuse or the sidekick fuse, right? But I don't think Braum can do that, and the reason why is a lot of his moves are pretty slow. His damage is okay, not fantastic. I don't think his mix-up game is super crazy. He does have the 5H into 5H, which I believe is the double overhead, which is kind of annoying to deal with at times, but at the same time, it's also really slow, so you can react to it easy. I think he's just a character that needs help, right? He's not a great point character. He's fine to have as your assist character and your second character, but as far as having him in the front, he just doesn't have the tools to navigate neutral, as well as the other characters I listed above. So if you were to pair Braum with like Yasuo, or pair Braum with maybe Ekko, or maybe Jinx even, or Vi, I think he does fine there, but as outside of that, nothing too crazy. I guess the one crazy thing he does have would be his shield, right? So with Braum, if you get the ice on his shield called Unbreakable, and you tag him out, he will have that for the duration that he is tagged out for, which is really good because it blocks moves, right? So I would say that is the one strength Braum has going for him, is that Unbreakable shield. If you can get him in neutral there for a second to get that on lock, and then tag him out immediately and have that for future assists, that's where I think Braum is actually pretty annoying. But even that's pretty minor and not too terrible to deal with. So that's why I'm going to put Braum at B. The next character, my favorite character so far that I've played outside of Ahri, would be Jinx. And I think... So I've seen a lot of stuff, and people kind of have her either in A or S. To me, as no bias, I'm putting her in A. And this is the reason I'm putting her in A, is because, like, honestly, she'd probably be here, right? But I think she has a pretty big weakness, and she almost needs to have it because of the character she is. Let me think about her for a second. Because her weakness to me is that her wave dashing is really slow. Her movement in general is really slow. Like, she's just a slow kind of character. She's not very fast. Her backdash is terrible. Her forward wave dash is also extremely slow. So she's kind of like, she's a zoner, but like she's not a zoner. Like, she has zoner tools, but she is also really good up in somebody's face as well. But I think she struggles against Yasuo and Ekko. I don't think she's great against those characters, especially Yasuo. And once those characters get on her, it's very hard for her. So I might actually end up putting her in S, at the bottom of S, but I think she's more A, just because her movement does play a huge part into it. She does do a crap ton of damage, though, and her neutral is okay. Her normals aren't fantastic in neutral. They're pretty short range, so you kind of have to be up in somebody's face when you're running pressure like that. But her projectiles definitely help her in mid and full screen. I will say that her fish bones on the ground is super easy to jump over if she's spamming it. It's really slow, so honestly, you can get in on her fairly easily. So I think I might keep her for A right now. I'm trying not to put any bias into this. When I play Jinx, the main complaints I have are like her slow movement, which I get because she's a zoner. Some of her projectiles, her projectiles are very good, but if they're telegraphed, like Fishbones is super easy to jump over. I do think Gatling gun or minigun is super easy to jump over as well, but it's a little bit more annoying to deal with because you can hold it and it'll have more hits come out. So that gets kind of a thing. Her 2H. I cannot express to you how much I hate her 2H. Her 2H is god-awful. It doesn't hit very high above her. So anti-airing with her is extremely hard. You almost have to be at this range where like their jump is not going to go over you, because if their jump goes over you, her 2H will miss. If they jump and they come right in front of you, because Jinx's goes out in front, a decent bit. It's kind of short, but that's where she can get her like anti-air. But it's not very consistent, not very good, not something you really want to rely on. I think that's why I'm going to keep her in A. I think she just has those weaknesses, and I think it hinders her a little bit at times. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for Jinx. With Vi, to me, she's annoying, right? And coming from my perspective, I think she's stronger than Jinx. Like, I could put her in the top of A, but I think I could also put her in S, and I'm gonna explain why. So, the thing with Vi is her assists are very good, and you can do that whole thing where you can hold the assist and like cross people up with it, so you can have the assist playing on one side while she's dashing through and hitting you with a special on the other side, right? And her movement is extremely good. She's extremely fast, hard to kind of track down and keep down for very long. She does have a reversal, or more of a parry, I guess it would be, which is also very good. Gets people off of you. Obviously, you can fade it out just like any parry, but I have that. Her damage is super good. She actually works well with a lot of characters. By Blitzcrank, good. Like by Ekko, or by and Darius would even be good, or by and Illaoi. I think when she's paired with somebody like that, you can apply a lot more mix and open situations for her. She becomes extremely scary, especially like I said before, she has that cross up, and in a game like this, that cross up is extremely strong. And if you pair that with like Illaoi tentacles or Ekko's projectile assists or anything like that, I think she becomes extremely hard to deal with. Her neutral is very good. She's fast, and she can get on you like that in like the blink of an eye, so trying to keep Vi down is extremely hard. And she works well with just a lot of characters, so there's not too many cons to Vi. Her overhead, I will say, is extremely hard to deal with, but I believe that you can parry that because there is a gap between when she does that and when she goes for the overhead. There is a gap there, so if you are paying attention to it, you could possibly react to it, like with the Treating Guard. I don't know if her Treating Guard works. I feel like it would if you did it right after the second one. I know parry would work. Push assist is great there as well. There are things that you can use to defend against that, but I think it is one of her strengths, right? So yeah, that's gonna be my top 3. I think those characters are all extremely hard to do. So, last but not least, we have my boy Blitz. I'm gonna put Blitzcrank in here. If I had to order this, I would say this is probably ordered. The thing with Blitzcrank, his neutral is very bad. It's not great. That's why I like to pair him with Jinx, because Jinx has an easier time in neutral and gives him time to flourish with using his assists. His assist is very good. He has the assist grab where he can just grab straight out in front of him, which is great in block string pressure. He also has the one where you can grab up. So if you notice like somebody's like jumping a lot after your block string or something like that, or they're just jumping a lot in general, Blitzcrank's down assist or back assist can literally catch people out of the air, and then Jinx can get a full combo, or any character can really get a full combo after that. But I think the thing that holds Blitz back is the fact that stubby normals, he's very slow, obviously because he's a big body. But his game plan is extremely straightforward. I will say he does have the restand combos that I haven't personally learned yet, but like that's above me right now, so I'm not really worrying about that. But I think his neutral is super hard to navigate. Obviously, he does have the special 2 in the air, where he does the Wii thing and spins all around, which you can do that up to 3 or 4 times, I believe. But the thing with that is if you block it, you can punish him afterwards. So it is negative. It's kind of a risk for him if the player knows what they're doing. In my experience. Obviously, this is my experience as I go up in ranks and stuff. Maybe somebody knows something I don't. I see something new, and I'm like, hey, they're better. You know, maybe I move him up the list or whatever, but the thing with Blitz is that he does struggle with that. Obviously, his command grabs are annoying, but that's just grappler archetype in a nutshell. They're just annoying to deal with. And I do think the reason why people hate Blitzcrank a lot is because you have a lot of new players coming in, and people that haven't fought against grapplers before, grapplers are extremely oppressive. To answer your question, I just think if you know how to fight against a grappler, Blitzcrank doesn't become too unbearable to play against, because if you know that, like, you can kind of feel after playing for a while when that command grab is coming. You can jump it, you can try to mash it. Obviously, you're taking a chance. The thing with grapplers is they're 50-50. So, like, once they get in close range of you, everything becomes a 50-50. You have to predict what is going to happen. It is hard to react to command grabs. You can react to them, but it is hard. So if you're, like, looking out for it, you can mash a light, and you would beat the command grab. You could jump the command grab, come down with a heavy, maybe into a full combo. But I think once you kind of realize that, like, hey, I cannot let this guy near me. I need to play kind of at mid-range, far range. Like, I play Jinx, so, like, when I'm playing against a Blitzcrank, I'm firing fish bones out there. Any projectile I got to keep this guy off of me, I'm throwing my assist out there to maybe land me a hit so I can run in, get a full combo, get out, flip, or actually even flip back, you know, get out, and then go back to my projectile war, because Blitzcrank, characters like Blitzcrank have a hard time dealing with projectiles, right? And if he goes to do the Wii thing, I'm not sure if you can anti-air that, but if you can just sit there and wait and maybe challenge it, or just wait till he comes down, because if you block it, you can punish them. So, but I won't say Blitz doesn't have strong things. Obviously, the restand thing, when he's full steam, he gets that barrier around him, which is extremely good, because then it's basically guarantee you a command grab, or even the little zap thing he gets, which is also good. I think it's off his level 2. But my Blitz knowledge is kind of, I only know like 1 combo or 2 combos with Blitzcrank. I want to learn the restand thing. I understand the restand is good. But to me, he's just another grappler. Maybe you could argue that his level 3 does too much damage, but any game I've played in, a grappler's level 3 always does a lot. That's like their big, juicy command grab. So, I mean, if you played against Potemkin and Strive, like, I mean, that's just the way I view Blitzcrank and his command grab. He has a hard time in neutral. He does have some downsides. I mean, if you know how to play against grapplers, I think it makes it significantly easier. And if he's in on you, you can push assist, get off of you, and kind of give you a chance to do something. You can parry some of his stuff, especially if he's going to do that charge. So I just think there's ways to deal with Blitzcrank. I do understand there are annoying things to him, but hey, every character has something that's super annoying about him, right? Like, Braum has his Unbreakable, Blitz has, you know, his restand stuff, Ahri is flipping all over the screen, right? Darius has his Hemorrhage and his Apprehend, Illaoi has very strong Oki, Jinx has projectiles. People hate playing against zoner type characters, so, you know, that's annoying. Vi is extremely shifty and has good mix-up, and just pretty much catch you out of random stuff all the time, which gets annoying, right? And she also has a parry, which also can be annoying at times. Ekko has his Time Winder mechanic, which playing against it isn't very fun. Obviously, there is some defense to it, but at the end of the day, the mechanic's annoying, right? And then Yasuo, everything about that character is annoying. So, you know, you can find something annoying about every character in a fighting game, you know what I mean? So it's just like trying to figure out ways to get around that. Like, hey, character might be strong, but let's see what I can do, right? Let's see what I can cook up, right? But I think that's it for me, guys. I mean, that's my final tier list. You got Yasuo, Ekko, Vi rounding out S tier. You've got Jinx, Illaoi, Darius, Blitz rounding out A, and then you have Ahri and Braum rounding out B. I don't think there's a C or a D character as of now. So hopefully you guys found this helpful. Hope maybe it helps you choose a character, or maybe makes you think about what teams you can pair together, or, you know, just gives you a fun thing to watch. And, you know, I know people like tier lists, like seeing what other people think, so Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.